Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one today I want to talk about the importance of getting out of the cities. And as you probably can tell by the background, I'm out in the country. You see that amazing view. It's a beautiful day. Sun about to set on the Sabbath day, probably another hour or so. And yeah, I just want to talk about, the reasons of getting out of the city. First on the, the short term temporarily, and also on the more permanent side. But yeah, like the reason why, well, there's a couple of reasons, but the main reason I came out just in the country this past week or so is, yeah, I was just feeling like so claustrophobic in the city. And I was there maybe like 2.5, 3 months, and I hadn't done anything, hadn't like gone into a nature walk or anything like this. And man, it just gets so intense sometimes, like just traffic and just congestion and noise and all sorts of things. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you're feeling a bit drained, feeling a bit low in energy, I highly encourage you to get out into nature. Go do some camping, go do some hiking, or try and get out into the country if you know someone. Something that I did quite often last year was I would house sit for people who lived in the country. So I would look after their dogs for them while I just got the house for myself, and just take advantage of that time alone and in nature and things like that. So yeah, it's good just to reset and just feel rejuvenated with God. And yeah, so when you do go back in the city, you're feeling more refreshed. But in terms of the more long-term approach, as we already can see based on the lockdowns a few years ago, the city's got severely distressed by them, right? The major city in New Zealand called Auckland, I think it has like 1.1 million or something like that. So it's pretty small comparison to like New York and LA and things like that. But when the lockdowns happened, that city got locked down and they couldn't even leave the city. So there was like a border like in and out of that city, right? And yeah, it would sound like it's really intense. Like crime went up, loads of people, loads of suicides, people losing jobs, all sorts of carry on was going on. And thankfully, I was in a smaller town while this was happening. But yeah, you can see what happened with the big towns, big cities like London, New York, all these things. Even in China, you see these people who got locked. They couldn't even leave their high-rise apartment buildings. Honestly, I just don't see any Christians whatsoever giving this message, how we need to be preparing for the end times and for these future events, and getting out into the country like here, and getting as self-sustained, off-grid as possible. So making sure we're growing our own food, harvesting the rainwater, getting on solar, do everything that we can. And I'm not saying that I'm set up at all. All I'm saying is that's what I'm trying to do. And it's definitely a trusting process with God. But I just want to plant the seed in you guys' minds. Anyone who's watching this, I'm assuming that you're in a city like I am at the moment. But just see what's happened in the last few years, and just see how much more freedom you have out in the country when you are far away from neighbors. You've got no traffic, you've got peace you've got land to do, grow, and you're not reliant on supermarkets and all these things that are tied to the government and things like that. It is a process, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. Some of you, probably like me, where you've grown up in a city your whole life, you've never really experienced what it's like, this kind of living, because yeah, like I have lived out in the country for a wee bit, and you do have to be more, organized, more responsible. You've got to organize your firewood. You've got to get your seeds ready. You've got to do all these things, and living in the cities is definitely a lot more convenient, but at the same time, it's a death trap, right? And that's what the system wants us to be, and just reliant on that convenience. So yeah, I just want to encourage you and motivate you guys to just don't get comfortable. And this is the time and period where we need to be networking and linking with like-minded Christians who want to get out of the cities, right? So if you can't afford to do it on your own, or your family can't do it, well, maybe join with another family and get a big enough section where you could build on the section together. Or just some ideas. I'm sure if anyone has done it that's watching, maybe drop in the comments what you've done. But like for example, where I'm saying here, there's a ministry that actually like bought some property of some land, and they've converted it into like a health retreat, and that's how they're able to, make an income and live out in the country and things like that. So yeah, there's, all things are possible with God, right? Was it Matthew 19:26? So yeah, I just want to leave you guys with that. Just, we can't forget what happened over 2020. We can already see things in the media popping up again about another potential, I won't say on the video, but starts with M, ends with pox. Yeah, but we're not to live in fear, right? Like 1 Timothy, God's meant to give us a sound power, love, and a sound mind, right? But we are also meant to plan. So while we're in this period where we have freedom of movement, we should be looking at finding some sort of permanent dwelling, right? Because I definitely believe the cities will be locked down again, and you won't be able to move, and it will make life a lot more difficult then. Okay, well, I just want to leave you guys with that. I probably will be mentioning this topic a few times because, yeah, I just don't see anyone really talking about it. Very, very few people. But yeah, God bless, guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.